Hi guys, my name is Armando and I am with my partners Maricruz and Chandali to explain to you in this video some topics of kinematics. Well, come on, let's go.
A kinematic link or element or link is a resistant body that constitutes part of the machine, connecting other parts which have motion relative to it. Example: a kinematic link. Piston rod and crosshead of a steam engine constitutes one unit and hence called one link shown in the below figure. In this figure, the various link is designated as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Link 1 is a fixed link that includes frame and all other stationary parts like cylinder, crankshaft bearing, etc. Link 2 is the crankshaft, flywheel, etc. all having rotation motion with respect to a fixed axis. Link 3 is the connecting rod and link 4 is the piston which is having reciprocating motion, hence this is called a four-bar mechanism. Link need not to be a rigid body but must be a resistant body, hence link must have the following two characteristics. It must be a resistant body, it must have relative motion. Types of kinematic link. There are basically four types of the link which are rigid link, flexible link, fluid link, floating link. 1. Rigid link. A rigid link is one that does not undergo any deformation while transmitting motion. Links in general are elastic in nature. They are considered rigid if they do not undergo appreciable deformation while transmitting motion. For example, crank and connecting rod. 2. Flexible link. A flexible link is one which, while transmitting motion, is partly deformed in a manner not to affect the transmission of motion. For example, spring, chain, rope, or belt. 3. Fluid link. A fluid link is one that is deformed by having fluid in a closed vessel and the motion is transmitted through the fluid by pressure. For example, hydraulic press and hydraulic jack. 4. Floating link. A floating link is one that is not connected with the frame. The binary link is having two vertices. The ternary link is having three vertices. And the quaternary link is having four vertices.
Thank you very much, Shandy, for the explanation about the links. Okay, hi guys, my name is Maricruz, and today in this beautiful video I will talk about together our cinematic pairs. These are the connection between two or more links that allow some movement or potential movement between the connected links. They can be classified in several ways. Number one, by the number of degrees of freedom, for example, rotational 1 GDL and prismatic sliding 1 GDL. And number two, by the type of contact between the elements as the complete union or lower kinematic torque, what is the surface contact, as we can see in the magic. And also the average junction or superior kinematic pair, that is the contact on a line or a point, as we can see in the magic. There's also words of higher order or half-parts. These are complex motion joints that generally involve both rotation and sliding. An example of these are curvilinear or cam joints and gear connection. An important fact that cannot be omitted is the mention that the upper pi member connection can be replaced by a lower pi connection when it is decided to reduce the contact pressure and friction. By forming a kinematic pair, the links lose the possibility of making certain movements, and the number of degrees of freedom of the same decreases. The limitation introduced in the relative movement of this link are called like condition. Some examples to be able to visualize the joints are following. Number one, revolutionary boards. Number two, cylindrical joint. Number three, prismatic joint. Number four, spherical joint. Number five, helical joint. And number six, flat joint. And and a plus is that in a plane mechanism, each link considered in insulation can have three independent movements, two of translation according to the axes x and y of a freely choose coordinate system in the plane of the mechanism, and one of rotational around as s axis perpendicular to said plane. In space, a link can have six independent movements. Um, that would be all. I hope you understand me. Um, Thank you very much for your attention. Um, I'm sorry for my bad English. And and the cinematic chase with my superfan Armando. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. Well, I will show you about the cinematic chains. The kinematic chain is the set of elements that produce movement and provide the same tracted force by moving. This movement to the driving wheels. We can in turn divide the kinematic chain into the two fundamental parts, the engine and the transmission system. When a series of elements are connected to each other by kinematic parts in such a way as to allow motion to be carried, or in combination, it is called a kinematic chain. A kinematic chain is not necessarily a mechanism. It becomes a mechanism if one of its elements has a relative motion with respect to another. The purpose of a kinematic chain is to transform a given movement into another to a different type according to a desired law. In this diagram we have 4 links and 4 joints. The 2 joints and 4 are fixed. There is no more movement, only the movement of joints 2 and 3. The distance of B is a radius since it moves to the one that is fixed. If we analyze the kinematic chain, we understand the relationship that exists between one movement and another. In other words, a kinematic chain is the union of several elements that cause movement between them. In this part of the movement, we observed that the rotation of our element 2 causes a pendulum movement into element 3. The correlation of motion generated will make a kinematic chain. I hope you understand me. Thank you very much for your attention, and we'll see another opportunity. I don't know. Thank you.